What's up, you guys? This is Adam Gillespie with Rancid and Sweaty Cabs coming at you with yet another video, and in this I'll be covering the new trailer from Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Amazon's attempt to wokeify J.R.R. Tolkien and still make money. Will they fail? Most likely. Now this is a 2-minute and 30-second long trailer of absolute brain-decaying garbage that anyone who's a genuine Lord of the Rings fan would look at and go, wow, this is terrible. So I hope that you guys can bear with me as I go through this.
There was a time when
Starts
the
off
world
by
was
saying,
so young.
I should clarify. This is, I don't know who's talking. I think it's the black Harfoot that they have in here, which is interesting because they got black elves, black Harfoots, black Numenorians, black this, black that, black. First of all, it doesn't matter what a person's skin color is, but second of all, it's important that you hold true to Tolkien's lore, and his lore is that they weren't that skin color. They may have had some darker complexion, kind of like an Italian darker complexion, but they weren't like African American, okay? They were in the upper European continental area. They usually stood around in area. Elves came from a place and time where there was no sun, like they came from a world before, okay? And newer elves just had the genetic makeup to make them fair-skinned. And they had fair skin, light hair. Some of them maybe had a little bit darker hair, but most of them had light hair. Dwarves lived in caves, so their genetic makeup would basically prevent them from because their lack of exposure to the sun while they're dwelling in their caves, they would have less likelihood to be, you know, darker skin, because just biologically, genetically, that's what happens. Harfoots, hobbits, they're all the same. The main thing I have the problem with the Harfoots is not a person, it's not their skin color. I don't care, okay? What matters to me about this is that they're taking hobbits and they're putting it into this part of the story of Lord of the Rings when they didn't exist in this part of the story of Lord of the Rings, okay? They did not exist. Harfoots are just hobbits. They are a family in the hobbits. They are a family, okay? Kind of like I think it's like Harfoots and Heavyfoots or something like that. They are a family of the Hobbit tree. They are not a predecessor. They are a family of the Hobbit tree. Stupid Amazon. Don't understand anything about the lore of
There had not yet been a sunrise.
Not yet been a sunrise.
But even then...
You know, one of the things they could do to make their trailer more appealing is to actually show a time before the world was created where you actually had Galadriel staring at the stars before the sun was created, because she was the last elf to see, or she was one of the last elves to see, or like be born at a time before the world existed, where she could actually see the stars and the constellations before the sun came to being. You know, that's something like where they had the reflection of the stars in the eyes of the Galadriel from the Lord of the Rings trilogy with Peter Jackson directing it. So good, but they didn't do that in this movie or the stupid TV show. It looks like terrible.
There was light.
There was light. Prime Video, screw you, Prime Video. Just screw you.
Call to me, call to me.
Look at that, we have some really nice overshots. Ooh, establishing
Elves
shots.
have forests to protect.
So here's the Black Harfoot.
Dwarfs their minds.
Dwarfs their minds.
Men their fields of grain.
Men their fields of grain.
But we Harfoots have each other.
I must now wander this wandering.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh gosh, it's terrible.
We're safe.
We're safe. That's, in case you guys want to know what that is, that crash right there, that's going to be the wizard. That's going to be the wizard. That's definitely not Gandalf, okay?
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
Galadriel never fought in a war. She's supposed to be the ideal feminine thing. They're going to ruin the character of Galadriel. They're going to ruin the character of Galadriel. They're going to kill off Celeborn. They're going to kill off Galadriel's brother. Characters that aren't dead in The Lord of the Rings when Tolkien wrote them. So they're going to have this way of bringing people back from the dead now, I guess, which is something that didn't exist before. The only person who came back from the dead was Gandalf, and that was because he was sent back by like the god of the Tolkien universe. Okay, gosh, this is terrible. Everything about this show is garbage. Oh, look at her, she's so tough.
Put up your sword.
Oh, so he's a stay-at-home dad, I guess.
The enemy is still out there.
The enemy is still
The
out
question now is where?
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
So right there, already a massive contradiction to the character of Galadriel in the first lines that they give her in this stupid trailer. I can't tell you how much I hate this trailer. I'm trying not to shout because my sister is still asleep in the other room, and I don't want to wake her up, because if I do shout, the whole freaking house is gonna it's gonna rumble, it's gonna shake, it's gonna blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so sick and tired of this garbage. You have not seen what I have seen. Okay, you don't go to battle. Galadriel never went into battle. Okay, you had elves who fought alongside men, who fought alongside Numenorians, who fought alongside dwarves. You had all these different armies who fought against these different peoples. You had the armies of the world come together to fight against major threats. But Galadriel was never out there on the battlefield. Galadriel was never out there with a sword and a spear, kicking butt, taking names. Oh my gosh, I've killed thousands of orcs. Oh. They've ruined the character of Galadriel. They've taken away all the things that made her Galadriel, replaced them with masculine traits, and they're going to somehow try to connect her, this stupid new version, to the version that was actually well written and well created by Tolkien in the books. Suck.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people,
This is another thing. So much of it just looks too
but
freaking
all
pretty.
peoples.
There's too much frilly clothing. Even the hobbits. The hobbits literally are like,
I am sorry.
they dwell on the
Their time
ground.
has come.
The past is with us all. The
Here's
past.
another question. Here's a pretty interesting question. When does the black genocide happen across all these different races in this story, huh? When do all the elves decide that black elves shouldn't exist? When do all the dwarves decide that black dwarves shouldn't exist? When do all the hobbits decide that black hobbits shouldn't exist? When do all the Numenorians decide that the black Numenorians shouldn't exist? When does that happen? When do all the humans decide that black humans shouldn't exist? When does that happen? Are they going to talk about that in this show? Of course not. They're going to race swap characters and introduce new characters that don't actually have anything to say about the story. They're creating their own separate characters to tell their own separate story that doesn't have any connection to Tolkien apart from the name. It's terrible. They've introduced characters that shouldn't be here because of what Tolkien wrote. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. They're taking things out of context. They're placing events that happen in different histories, different times, in places that they shouldn't be. They're completely ignoring certain characters. They're killing off characters that exist in the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy, only to bring them back probably. And even then they might not, because these people are freaking idiots. They're idiots. They're garbage.
It's dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
It's so terrible. This just looks awful. Everything about this looks awful.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
Oh my gosh, man. It's just a terrible, terrible trailer. I hope you guys could endure that. It was difficult for me to do it twice, because I saw it once, and I'm watching it again to review it with you guys. My brain is on fire. I have watched some of the most idiotic stuff in the world. This is terrible. This whole trailer just speaks volumes of why it is that Amazon should not have the right to do anything with Tolkien, and they should have just left it alone with the Peter Jackson trilogy. Gosh, this is a terrible looking show. Everything about this is awful. It really is. They're contradicting basic Tolkien lore and introducing new characters and putting hobbits in times when they shouldn't exist. And it's just terrible. It's awful. And they're completely changing characteristics of well-deserved, well-developed characters like Galadriel. They're killing off Celeborn, who actually should be out there fighting. They're just doing all types of garbage. And they don't care. They don't care. They're going to force this down the viewers' throats, and I hope that you don't watch it. Don't watch this. It's going to be terrible. I don't have much else to say. It's going to be terrible. It is terrible. It already is. This trailer alone proves to you it's terrible. Everything about this is garbage. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment below your thoughts, hit that subscribe button, click that bell notification icon so you'll be alerted to every single video that I upload. You can also find me over on Rumble and Patreon. I leave links to both of those sites in the description below. If you'd be willing to check those out, that'd be a huge help. I appreciate you guys nonetheless. I love the fact that we've reached over 100 subscribers, and I can't wait to see us keep growing. Make sure to share this video with your friends as well, though, because that does help with the algorithm. And I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the week.